Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a Xiao Listener by me. So let's get into it. It was lantern light, and the lights flickered in the distance, their soft glow barely reaching the quiet solitude of your small home on one of the mountains on Liyue. You had been sick for weeks now, the illness creeping through your body like an unwanted guest. Each day felt heavier than the last, but tonight, the weight seemed unbearable. Xiao had been visiting you more often lately, his stoic presence a strange comfort in your otherwise lonely struggle. You should be resting. His familiar voice cut through the silence as he appeared, as he always did without any warning. The conqueror of demons stood by your window, his arms crossed and his golden eyes narrowing as they scanned your pale face. You offered him a weak smile from your spot on the couch. I am resting. I'm sitting here, aren't I? He didn't respond immediately, his frown deepening as he stepped closer. You look worse than yesterday, he said bluntly. His gaze held with an emotion he wouldn't name. Concern. He wasn't always able to connect with his more emotional side, but it was there, even if he wasn't really able to deal with it very well. I didn't know you were keeping tabs. He teased softly, even though you were struggling to even speak. Of course I am. You're not taking this seriously enough, he replied without hesitation, pulling a chair closer and sitting across from you. And before you could respond, a sudden wave of nausea hit you, like a crashing wave. Your chest tightened, and a sharp pain shot through your ribs. Gasping, you barely managed to lean forward as bile rose in your throat. Wayan, Xiao's voice was sharper now, edged with alarm, and you couldn't answer. The metallic taste of blood filled your mouth, and you retched violently, crimson spilling onto the floor. Xiao, you choked out, but the words caught in your throat as another wave of nausea overtook you. In an instant, he was at your side, one hand gripping your shoulder to steady you, while the other hovered uncertainly near your face. Don't move, he commanded, his voice tight with urgency. Stay still. And you collapsed back against the couch, your breath coming in shallow gasps. Fear flickered across Xiao's usually impassive face as he knelt down beside you. His hands hovered over you, as though afraid to touch. You're burning up. This isn't normal, he muttered, pressing two fingers to your pulse. I'm fine, really, you rasped, though the blood on your lips and the trembling of your body said otherwise. You're not. Stop pretending, he snapped, his jaw clenching, and you managed a weak laugh, though it quickly turned into a cough that left you doubled over. Oh, he's so blunt. This isn't the time for jokes, he said, his tone almost scolding, though his hands were gentle as he guided you to lean back. You're getting worse. I should have taken you to baby pharmacy days ago. I didn't want to bother you, you admitted, your voice faint, and his sharp gaze softened just enough for you to notice. You're not a bother, he said quietly, almost as though the admission pained him. You never have been. And silence fell between you, save for your labored breathing. Xiao's mind raced as he considered his options. You were too weak to walk, and teleporting you risked aggravating your condition further. But you couldn't just sit here and watch you suffer. You don't have to stay, he said suddenly, breaking through his thoughts. Your eyes fluttered open, meeting his with a faint, wary smile. I know you have more important things to attend to.
Don't say that, he said firmly, his brow sorrowing. There's nothing more important than this. Than you.
Your eyes widened slightly at his words, but before you could respond, Xiao stood abruptly.
I'm getting help. Don't move.
Wait, you called out weakly, grabbing his wrist with what little strength you possessed. Then he paused, his gaze snapping back to you. Please, don't leave me. His resolve wavered at the vulnerability in your voice. He really couldn't take that, even though he knew he wasn't leaving you. And he knelt back down, his expression torn.
I won't leave, but you have to let me help you.
He promised, his voice softer now, as he tried to reassure you, squeezing your hand gently. And he nodded faintly, your grip on his wrist loosening. All right, I trust you, you whispered, and Xiao sighed in relief, his shoulders relaxing slightly. And as he placed his hand over yours, his touch hesitant but comforting, he spoke.
I won't let anything happen to you. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. And you closed your eyes, feeling the exhaustion pull you under. And Xiao stayed by your side, his hand only leaving yours for a moment as he teleported to Boo Pharmacy and told Aizu that he was needed. And then he teleported right back next to you, his hand staying in yours this time, as he silently vowed to do whatever it took to save you. For once in his long solitary life, he couldn't bear the thought of losing someone, and he wouldn't. Not you. He would not let it happen, no matter what it took, because you were his entire world. And now, he had to come to terms with it more than ever.